Mauricio Pochettino has just dropped a confession that will keep football fans talking for weeks. He was closer than most of us realised to walking into the Santiago Bernabeu. He said it plainly. Madrid showed real interest in him not once but on two separate occasions, first in his playing days and later when the club faced another managerial crossroads. For a coach whose fingerprints are on some of the most influential teams in Europe, that admission turns a long-running rumour into a headline with teeth. It forces us to ask the ugly, brilliant question every fan loves to ask after the final whistle. What if? What if Pochettino had taken the reins at Real Madrid? What would have changed? To understand why this matters, you don't have to be a tactical genius. Pochettino's reputation was built on turning teams into disciplined, relentless units that press, rotate and develop young players into the next generation of stars. That identity clashes with, and sometimes complements, the Galactico tradition of bright attacking stars and big money signings. The moment most people focus on is the opening after Zinedine Zidane left, a shockwave through Madrid's corridors, and the perfect opportunity for a new vision to step in. According to Pochettino, the approach was a real and a concrete. But timing, that perennial enemy of good intentions and promises already made to other clubs, changed everything. Loyalty and timing are quieter forces in football than transfer fees or trophies, but they shape careers every bit as dramatically. Pochettino reportedly felt bound by commitments, pledges he had given, a human factor that an ocean of punditry often forgets. Choosing to stay with a project, to honour an agreement, is a moral decision that can burn future possibilities. For Pochettino, it meant walking away from the immediate thrill of Madrid. For Real, it meant moving on to other options and continuing a search that often feels more like reactive surgery than planned architecture. The ripple effects are huge. Managerial appointments influence recruitment, the academy pathway, even club culture for years. Imagine for a moment a Pochettino Real Madrid. The team might have become more aggressive in pressing, more patient integrating academy players, perhaps less dependent on marquee summer splashes. That shift would have influenced who Madrid targeted in transfer windows, how they deployed their stars, and the kinds of managers rival clubs pursued. It would also have reframed Pochettino's legacy. Instead of being remembered primarily for Spurs' near-magic or PSG continental push, he could have been the man who remade one of football's most famous institutions. But counterfactuals are slippery. They teach us more about the present than they do about the past. The real lesson is how fragile big decisions can be and how one promise or poor timing can alter football history. There's also a political side to every big appointment. Boardroom preferences, presidential decisions and media pressure all shape the outcome. Real Madrid's search for the right coach is never only about style, it's about image, marketability, and the message a club wants to send to fans worldwide. When a figure like Pochettino considers such a role, it's not a simple yes-no. It's a negotiation with identity. He's left the door open, and that small admission is seismic. It signals to clubs, fans and agents that this is a manager who weighs choices carefully and is still ambitious. For Madrid watchers, it's a reminder their club's destiny is always a page turn away. For Pochettino's supporters, it's a taste of what might still come. So what should fans watch for next? Watch the managerial market in the next windows, the name's real target, and Pochettino's next career step. If he's willing to talk openly about near misses, he's also laying the groundwork for future possibilities. And for every club and coach out there, his story is a lesson in the double-edged sword of commitment. Honouring a promise can win respect, but it can also cost a statue at a bigger arena. The truth Pochettino revealed isn't just gossip. It's a lens on how football's biggest decisions are made and how small human choices ripple into the legends fans debate for decades. What would you have wanted to see from a Pochettino Madrid? Tell us in the comments, because the best part of football's what if is the conversation they spark, and this one is far from over.